Mason Greenwood and Jadon Sancho were told they might have a Manchester United future. But new owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe will not allow either of them back to the club if he does not believe it is possible.
Greenwood, who went on loan to Getafe in September, has not featured for United since he was suspended after being arrested on suspicion of rape, sexual assault and making death threats in January 2022. All charges were subsequently dropped, but United suggested the former England man was unlikely to return to the club.
Sancho is now back at Dortmund on loan after a huge fallout with manager Erik ten Hag meant he was banished to the youth team in September. And while Ratcliffe insisted he was talking about a general principle, rather than either player specifically, he did not close the door definitively on the pair.
Read more on Man Utd. Luke out fears Shaw could miss rest of Man United season and Euro 2024 as old injury returns. Power up, get £40 in free football bet builder bets when you stake £10 with Paddy Power. Ratcliffe said, "We will make a decision. I don't know if he could still have a future. All I can do is talk about the principle of how we will approach decisions like that."
Is he the right type of footballer? Are we happy with that? Is he a good person or not? Most read in Football Footy Scare former Premier League striker Niang rushed to hospital after horror crash. CU Jimmy Man United official resigns as he becomes first casualty of Ratcliffe takeover. Lions Den Millwall sack Joe Edwards after just 19 games with ex-manager set to return. Percy why Dream Team gaffers must ditch Tottenham players ahead of game week 25. How to get free bets on football. He, Greenwood, is a Manchester United footballer and we are in charge of football. So the answer is it's quite clear we have to make a decision. 5 things Jim Ratcliffe must change at Manchester United, including fixing Old Trafford, selling Sancho and Antony and winning the trust of the fans. There is no decision that's been made.
He's on loan obviously, but he's not the only one. We've got 1 or 2 footballers that we have to deal with and we have to make a decision on, so we will do that. The process will be, understand the facts not the hype and then try and come to a fair decision on the basis of values, which is basically whether he is a good guy or not.
Could he play sincerely for Manchester United well, and would we be comfortable with it and the fans would be comfortable with it? I can talk about the principle. The principle is the important one because we will have other issues going forwards.
You are dealing with young people who have not always been brought up in the best circumstances, who have a lot of money and don't always have the guidance they should have. What we need to do when we have issues like that is to understand the real effects, not the hype.
Then we need to make a fair decision in the light of the club's values. That's what we need to do and that's how we will deal with it. Greenwood has made a huge impact since arriving at Getafe. He has scored 5 goals and assisted 5 more in 21 La Liga appearances for the club.
His impressive form has even seen him linked with an incredible transfer to Barcelona. But his time in La Liga has also been shrouded in controversy after allegations of a row with fellow Englishman Jude Bellingham.
The latter is under investigation over claims he called Greenwood a rapist when Getafe played Real Madrid earlier this year. La Liga have called in a lip reader to investigate a complaint by Getafe about the alleged slur, with a decision still pending.
Getafe boss José Bordales defended his player saying, "The only thing that I can say is that I ask for respect for Mason Greenwood because he is a great guy. He is a man who respects everyone and has exemplary behaviour." Ratcliffe on Old Trafford. Ratcliffe also revealed that his preference is to build a new stadium rather than redevelop Old Trafford.
The British billionaire called the current ground tired and in need of refurbishment. He would like to build a so-called Wembley of the North, as it's about time someone built a national stadium in the north of England.
On where the new ground could be built, Ratcliffe said, "Trafford Park is where the Industrial Revolution began. If you look at that region of Manchester today, only a mile from the centre, it is tired and neglected and parts are quite run down.
There is quite a big argument, in my view, for regenerating that whole south side of Manchester. The nucleus of it would be building a new world-class state-of-the-art stadium which could take England games, the FA Cup final, Champions League finals.
It could serve the north of England. There is a bias in the UK in terms of where national stadiums have been built. They are all in the south. There is a lot of talk about levelling up. HS2 has been cancelled and all that is going to be spent on the rail network in London.
The people in the north pay their taxes just as the people in the south. Why should there be a venue in the north of England for England to play at? Why does everyone in the north have to go to the south for the semi-finals of the FA Cup? Ratcliffe on Sheikh Jassim. Ratcliffe went toe-to-toe with Sheikh Jassim in the race to buy Man United. But the Qatari banker eventually pulled out of the race as he wanted to buy all of the club.
And Ratcliffe made a cheeky dig at Jassim, claiming he has no idea who he is. He said, "Still nobody's ever seen him. Actually, the Glazers never met him." He never. I'm not sure he exists. Ratcliffe on the Glazers. Ratcliffe was also asked about his relationship with the Glazer family.
He said, "We have a really good relationship with Joel and Avram, who are the only two of the siblings that we've got to know and have met, actually. There's a fair amount of trust, I think, between us. They obviously are very comfortable with us running the sports side of the club."
This is going to be a very sports-led club. It's all going to be about performance on the pitch. We're obviously going to be on the ground, whereas the Glazer family are a fair way away.
It's true that there could be a complete buyout of their stake by someone else, but there's all sorts of scenarios. We might get hit by an asteroid. There's been lots of opportunities for someone to come in and buy United in last 12 months and nobody has.
I don't think we're going to be taking the legal agreements out of the bottom drawer. I just hope they gather dust and we never see them. Which it should be. It should be on the basis of a relationship.
The Glazers really, from the beginning, preferred ourselves to the Qatari option, which in a way for them was a much easier option because they could just sell the whole thing and they would have walked away and financially done quite well. Read more. Son STORIESCASH out. Martin Lewis warns 1.1M miss out on free £102 a week. Get on with it now. Lovin' it. McDonald's launches new range of very unusual products, and fans are obsessed, but they sort of stuck with us through the whole process even though it was a bit more complicated.
That has forged a relationship. We've all got to know each other. You get to know people better in adversity than when the whole thing is going swimmingly. Man United News Live. All the latest news from Old Trafford.